Yo, what's up guys, I'm the Cool Geek, and today I'm going to be helping out Splash with the stats for Team 7. But first, a word from our sponsors, Raid Shadow Legends. No, I'm just kidding. Let's get into it. Okay, for Team 7's AP, durability, and speed, they should all scale to each other, so I won't make separate sections for them. But I will be going over low balls, mid balls, and high balls for them. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, Team 7 should scale above full power Jubi Madara. Now there are a few different ways to scale this Madara. The low ball for the 10 tails was registered as a small planet on the radar in terms of sheer amounts of chakra, not to mention potency. This is backed up by the fact that the 9 tails told Sage Naruto that the 10 tails was too powerful to be sensed, even though this is the same Naruto that can sense things happening on the other side of the planet. And Madara absorbed the 10 tails to become Jubi Madara, and this is shown that a Jinchuriki of the 10 tails is stronger than the 10 tails itself, like when the 10 tails gets penned by Hashirama's deity gates, while Jubito burst out no problem. That would make a low ball Team 7 small planetary to planetary, depending on how you scale that. Okay, for a mid ball, the 9 tails was stated in the data books to be able to easily turn the world to ash, and KCM2 Naruto is a perfect Jinchuriki. And the reason that means anything is because perfect Jinchuriki are stated and shown to be stronger than the Biju that's sealed inside of them, and base Sakura was comparable to KCM2 Naruto and EMS Sasuke, and in one of the novels, it was stated that the 100 healing seal amped Sakura by several orders of magnitude. Several being more than 2, but not that many. So, for the sake of this video, we'll just say 10. And an order of magnitude is an order of 10, so this can make a mid-ball Team 7 star level. Okay, now is for a high ball for Team 7. For this, you can just say that Kaguya made her own space-time. As a matter of fact, she made 5 of them separately, and it was stated that she was going to destroy her biggest one and recreate it if Team 7 didn't stop her. As a side note, this same time space was stated vast by the likes of Obito, who has his own time space, and also he has knowledge of, like, the main universe and such. So she would be Universal Plus due to creating a 4D construct that's possibly universal in size, maybe, possibly. And Naruto kicked Kaguya through a mountain with boil release, and Sakura damaged a weakened Kaguya by punching her in the head. So Team 7 would be in the same dimensional tier as Kaguya, which would be 4D in this case. Now, I'm not saying that I agree or disagree with this argument. As a matter of fact, I'm still finding stuff for an upcoming Kaguya video on my channel, so be on the lookout for that. And Team 7's durability should scale to their AP, which we already went over, so on to the next category. Okay, for Team 7's low-balled speed, Kid Kakashi was stated to cut a lightning bolt in half, and in the anime it actually showed him doing it, and Base Guy was stated by Sasuke to be faster than Kakashi in the Chunin exams, and this is backed up by the fact that they were rivals, and Guy had the winning record over Kakashi. But for the sake of this lowball, we can say that Kid Kakashi is like equal to Kakashi from the Chunin exams, and then we'll say that like Guy didn't get any faster up until the war arc, even though his motto is today better than yesterday. But now, the reason this matters is because Guy used the 8th gate against One-Eyed Madara, and Madara could still keep up with them until Minato and some other people started hopping in. The reason this matters is because it was stated that the first gate is a 10 to 12 times amp, depending on the translation that you go with, and Occam's razor would dictate that the difference between, say, the second and third gate should still be the same multiplier as the difference between the first and second gate. So, times 10 for each gate would crack FTL Plus easily, considering the difference between lightning speed and light speed is only about 1,000 times, and Six Paths Naruto goes on to keep up with a faster Madara. Okay, the mid ball works similarly to the low ball, in the sense that we're still scaling off of 8 gates Guy. Now, in the War Arc, Base Guy reacts to reanimated Haku's Ice Mirror, which reflects Haku at the speed of light. And I just made a Haku video if you're wondering about that. But basically, right, if we use the gate multipliers onto base guy, who is already light speed, and we say that each gate is between a 10 to 12 times multiplier, and it works in an exponential fashion, this would mean that 8th gate guy is over 400 million times the speed of light, which is decently into MFTL+. And if you want more information about the gates, you should check out my channel. My next video is going to be talking about the multipliers for the gates. Now, after that, getting the second eye, Madara got a 4 times boost, as we know, since he went from only being able to make 1 Limbo clone to being able to make 4. Two-eyed Madara's speed should be at 1,600,000,000 times the speed of light, or 1.6 billion times the speed of light, if you prefer that abbreviation. And I can argue that three-eyed Madara can be anywhere between a 4 to 12 times amp onto the two-eyed version. 4 being a low end, 12 being more like right, because the Rinne Sharingan is a mix between the Rinnegan and the Sharingan. And the boost for the Rinnegan is a 4 times boost, as I stated earlier. And the Mangekyo Sharingan has been stated to be several times boost so for the sake of this video, we can just call it a 3 times boost. And well, 3 times 4 is 12. Therefore, we can conclude that the Rinne Sharingan is a 12 times amp, which would bring Team 7's speed to over 12 billion times the speed of light. Okay, for a highball, Hashirama was stated to have infinite chakra in one of the data books, and Hashirama stated that KCM2 Naruto has almost as much chakra as he does, and chakra directly amps all stats, including speed. Alright, so now we're gonna move on to hacks. We're gonna do Kakashi first. So, for hacks, since this is DMS Kakashi specifically, he has his Kamui, which gives him the ability to rip holes in space-time at the focal point of his eye, and whatever, is near the hole gets dragged in. Okay, on to hacks. Since this is DMS Kakashi, he has his Kamui, which gives him the ability to rip holes in space-time at the focal point of his left eye, and for his right eye, he can suck things into the Kamui dimension from the location of his right eye itself. Either way, the things Kakashi sucks into Kamui go to his Kamui dimension. He also has his perfect Susanoo armed with Kamui Shuriken. He also has the ability to phase through objects using Kamui as well, the same way Obito did, where he just teleports pieces of his body into the Kamui dimension. It's kind of weird, but whatever, we're gonna ignore how weird it works. And then he has his perfect Susanoo, which is armed with Kamui Shuriken. Basically just like a shuriken that if he throws it, when it hits something, even if it's just nothing, they explode, and anything that gets caught in the explosion gets taken to another space-time, that being the Kamui dimension. And this seems to work on people that are massively stronger than him, like Kaguya. Now they are in the same tier, like I said earlier, but Kaguya is still massively stronger within the same tier. So this ability is pretty OP. He also has all of the basic Sharingan abilities, which include multi-step precognition, basic mind hacks, and the ability to copy any ability that is physically or spiritually based, as long as his body is physically capable of doing it. He's also mastered over 1,000 other hacks, but most of them are just different elemental abilities that don't really matter that much, so I won't be covering them here for time purposes. Now to move on to Naruto's hacks. Now everyone knows that he has his Shadow Clone Jutsu, and all of the clones should be relative to himself in AP and speed. Durability is arguable, but depending on the situation, he can make them have relative durability to himself. They also have all of his hacks and stuff. Now, it's a bit interesting how many clones you think he can make, but it's directly proportional to his chakra amount. But we know that he should be able to make at least 2,000 because he did that as like a kid with like no QB buff or anything. He was just able to crap out a 2,000 clones right after he learned the jutsu. Not to mention like after he gets like an entire 9 tails worth of chakra and then like ultra mega god chakra. So yeah, he should be able to make at least 2,000 clones. Now, Naruto also has all of his Rasengan variants. Now, I'll only be going over like a few, these ones being like the most notable ones. Now, first, I'm going to talk about like the regular Rasen Shuriken, which it's pretty basic. It just like attacks the opponent on a cellular level, and it can like be thrown, so it's like a projectile, nothing too crazy. Next is the magnet style Rasengan, which is basically just like a ball that if Naruto like smacks you with it, you'll be sealed as long as you don't have a resistance to sealing. Now next is the magnet style Rasen Shuriken, which is, in my personal opinion, one of Naruto's coolest hacks. What it basically does, it does exactly what it sounds like actually. It's just like a cross between the magnet style Rasengan and the regular Rasen Shuriken. That being that it can be thrown as like a projectile, but it also seals you. Now, the reason I think this ability is so cool is the fact that it can seal you on a cellular level, because it seals the same way the Rasen Shuriken attacks, which is cellular, of course, right? So it'd be sealing you on that same cellular level, which is really cool. And Naruto, he also has really good precognition, and this is shown from the fact that Naruto also has really advanced precognition that is better than Sasuke's, as shown when Kaguya is able to catch Sasuke off guard from behind and not Naruto. He can also sense the emotions of people and creatures. Last but not least, Naruto has Boy Release, which is just statistics amplification. In other words, he can use it to temporarily increase his stats. For Sasuke's hacks, he has all the standard Sharingan abilities that I mentioned for Kakashi. I also explained them pretty well in my Kid Sasuke video, as well as he has all of the Rinnegan abilities. The Rinnegan abilities, which include the ability to summon some of the most OP creatures in the Narutoverse, including a multi-headed dog that sprouts more heads and gains more power the more you damage it, as well as a giant crab that can create a smoke screen, as well as a giant invisible chameleon, as well as a few other summonings that are either just used for raw power or like raw durability that can be used as a shield. All of these summonings are relative to the summoner in terms of stats, so since this is Sasuke using them, they will be relative to Sasuke, and for example, like the ones that like Pain used would be way weaker, they would only scale to Pain, whereas these ones are scaling to Sasuke. Now on to Sakura's hacks. Sakura, she doesn't really have very much other than like her regen and like standard chakra abilities. I talk about like the inherent abilities of chakra in the chakra video I made on my channel. Maybe you want to check that out. For intelligence, Naruto is known as the idiot of the verse, and most people take what that means out of context. Most people think that means that he's just an idiot in general, which is blatantly wrong. Naruto back in part 1 thought of a multi-step plan to catch Zabuza off guard, so he definitely has a pretty high fight IQ. Some more evidence for that is the fact that in the fight with Kaguya at the end of Shippuden, Team 7 and Obito were thinking of plans to beat Kaguya despite of her overwhelming speed and power, and Naruto's plan was pretty close to working. Both of them were actually. And for intelligence for Sasuke, he outsmarted Deidara, and Deidara is the same guy that made a fake eye lens thing to make himself immune to mind hacks. And keep in mind, he did this in what was basically the Stone Age of Naruto. Like back then, no one used science to fight except for Deidara. And Sasuke made him look like a retard in a fight. It was crazy. Okay, for Sakura, when it comes to intelligence, she is not one to be underestimated. Even back in part 1, she was the one who knew the most about chakra control and her own abilities, and how to modify her techniques to fit her opponent. Like when she fought the Sound Ninja, she realized the Sound Ninja realized that she was spamming the substitution jutsu, and she just faked like she was gonna do it again, and then switched to a different tactic in order to catch the Sound Ninja off guard. It was pretty cool. Okay, so for Kakashi's intelligence, he was stated to be smarter than Shikamaru, and Shikamaru was entrusted by his dad, once his dad was about to die, to be the new brain behind the Shinobi Alliance. And if you don't want to use that, we can still say that Kakashi was involved with giving valid strategies against Obito when Naruto couldn't think of anything to do. Okay, so that's pretty much it for all of Team 7 stuff. Let me know what you think for the scaling for these characters. This is part 2 covering Team 7. Part 1 was Splash's last video covering Team Urameshi, and next is the final battle. It's gonna be awesome. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the homie Splash, subscribe to me, and share this video. Peace out.